Peace, love, happiness, and blessings. Marhaban, ni hao ma, hello, hola. It's your boy DarkIchigo here with another video. But before we dive in, I want you guys to like and subscribe. Also hit that bell at the top for all future notifications on upcoming videos, events, debates, etc. I got a lot of surprises coming and you don't want to be missing out on that. So please, I advise you to hit that notification bell. But I kind of want to dive right into it because I kind of been pondering this topic for about a week now, as well as all day today. So I kind of want to get it off my mind while it's still fresh before it gets all distorted and whatnot. And with that being said, the topic at hand is the Akashic Records, also referred to as the Akashic Chronicle. And all that just means is just a compendium of human events, emotions, words, thoughts, and intentions. But I kind of just want to focus on main four today, and that being words, emotions, thoughts, and intentions. And the first one I want to dive deep into, no pun intended, check the hoodie, is words. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with anagrams, but if you actually just take the word words as a plural, take the S off the end and switch it to the beginning, you get what? Sword. Or sword, however you choose to pronounce it. One being tangible, the other being intangible, right? But we're only going to focus on the intangible today, because words can definitely be felt and have an impact. Just because it's not physical don't mean you can't use them as a weapon. Am I correct? Many of us today aren't aware of how we use them or of the weapons we wield. That's why they say it's not what you say, is how you say it. You can address any situation, whether it makes you uncomfortable or not, but again, it's not what you say, is how you say it. That makes it, have less of an impact or have an impact, however you choose to wield your weapon. They cut deep, just like a sword. That's why in a lot of movies where it's a young kid who's good with his words and he attracts a lot of women, and what do they say? Oh my gosh, he's so good with his words. He just knows how to make a woman feel. Because she feels what you're saying. Words are vibrations. You can move things or people depending on how you use them. That's why we don't have any leaders today, but that's a whole nother topic for today. For another day. That's a whole nother video I'm going to have coming for y'all. But staying on topic. How many times have you been in a relationship or just simply have an altercation or a conversation with people, and whether out of anger, right? When you're mad, first of all, when you're angry and mad, you lose all rational thought and logic and reasoning. So the words just kind of spew out. And that's why you always have to revisit that same conversation later on, because not only did you butcher that whole thing, you damn sure use your words as a weapon. You probably cut some people deep, whether it's mentally, spiritually, or whatever the case may be. You definitely said some things you probably regret. That's out of anger and when you're mad. So that's why I don't like having conversations or interactions with people when I'm angry, because I know you push people away. That's just your unintentional reaction that you have, because again, when you're angry and mad, you lose all rational thought, logic, and reasoning. So you just spew out all that nonsense, especially when you're talking with your girl and you guys get into a heated debate. That's why it's good for you guys to cool it down, come back to your clear and concise and level-headedness, get your point out then, not when you're angry. Take some time apart and come back, rethink that, because out of anger, ain't nothing gonna get solved that way. It's only gonna hurt somebody or hurt both of you or hurt the whole relationship. So it's best to avoid things when you're angry and mad. Now, I think it's important to have a wide variety of words, to have a pretty hefty vernacular. I'm not saying this because I like to be a smart ass or be a smart aleck. It's just simply because, let's put it this way, emotional intelligence words and emotions go hand in hand, because to be able to properly articulate your emotions, you need to be good with your words. Do you not? That's why a lot of, please don't get offended by this, hood dudes don't know how to handle their women because their words don't come out right. They don't have a pretty vast vernacular to properly articulate how they feel. Am I wrong? And so, first of all, they always react out of anger, so they end up saying hateful, harsh words, and all that does is make the situation worse, if not destroying your relationship. Like, take a person like Jay-Z, for example, who's been in the streets most of his life. And he became a what? An intelligent gangster. And I say this because he was once in the streets, probably lacked a vernacular, or a vast vernacular. And look at him now. Business mogul, taking over the world. Definitely knows how to articulate himself very well. Whether it's in the benefit of our people or not, that's a whole nother situation. But that man definitely balanced both ends of the spectrum very well. And these are things that if you're again not aware of, you won't make the best of the weapons you wield. Because words are weapons. And it's important to be aware of the weapons you wield. Emotions, right? I might not be the smartest guy in the room, even though I'm the only guy in the room. But let's just break down the word itself. Motion just means something that's in motion, it's moving, or in the act of moving. And the E. Now this is where you can go ahead and say, dang Ichigo, you way out there. But to me, it makes sense. Now, there was a wise philosopher back in the day now named Albert Einstein who came up with the equation, and it was E equals mc squared, right? The E being energy, the M being mass, and the C being the speed of light. But the only thing we're focusing on right now is the E. The E stood for energy. Now, if you see where I'm going here, the E and emotion stands for energy, and then you have motion. And you put those together, and to me, that makes energy and motion. You may not be able to see the energy, but you damn sure can feel it, right? So how many times if you came home and your woman was sad, mad, whatever the emotion may be, she didn't have to tell you that, you just felt it, right? You could just feel something's off, right? As they say, something's off. You feel it. You don't need her to open her mouth to speak, you just feel it. And if you really love your woman and you're really in sync with her, you wouldn't have to ask her what's wrong or why are you acting this way. You would just be aware of it from the get-go, right? Because you would feel it. You're in tuned. You're in sync with her. You're in tuned with the earth and everything around you. So you can just feel it, right? I'm gonna use my own personal experience for this. I had a girl, my last, I call it a relationship because whether we put the title on it or not, it was definitely a relationship. She had a lot of suppressed anger and emotion from an old relationship, whatever the case may be. Definitely suppressed her energy a lot. So whenever I wanted to bring up a topic or just simply have a conversation, anything that, to make it gets deep, she was put a wall up, emotions very suppressed. So whenever I strike a nerve, it just came out as anger, deep sadness, depression. I just felt it. First of all, if you lack empathy, you won't be able to even notice this plane exists, this plane of the etheric. You wouldn't even be able to notice this etheric plane existed if you just simply aren't aware, right? But there's so much anger and sadness. I felt it. Like, it's because to be an empathetic person, you can feel other people's emotion and you take it on to yourself. Like, you literally take it on, you feel it. Hence the word. And it just threw me for a loop. I was like, wow, this girl, somebody really hurt this girl. Somebody really damaged her, really messed her up, right? Long story short, the last conversation we had was out of anger. I don't like to end things like this, but I'm also not gonna constantly press on the situation. Like, we both came to a mutual agreement to go our ways, but I would definitely want to work this thing out with this girl if the moment ever appeared again. But that last heated debate we had, or conversation, whatever you want to call it, it was out of anger. So we both said a lot of things, because first of all, when you're angry and mad, you lose all rational thought and logic and reasoning. So things just spew out in the heat of the moment, hence the words. A lot of things that were said shouldn't have been said. You know how those kind of moments go. And it just ended bad. So that was just the end of it. I don't like ending on bad terms like that. Unresolved emotions, you know? There's a lot of men out here who claim they still claim to this day, listen to all these rappers and whatnot, I don't got no feelings, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, right? But little do you know, because you're not aware, that anger, frustration, being mad is an emotion. So you don't have the emotions, but yet you angry and mad all day. That just means that's the only way you know how to feel, because you don't know how to express it any other way, through anger and being mad, right? So for me, words and emotions kind of go hand in hand. Being able to articulate how you feel, it's important. It's always been important, especially more than ever in today's world. The relationship between man and woman is only getting pulled apart even more. So if we can't come back to the basics, then we have no hope. You might as well end humanity now. I want to move on to the third thing. The third thing being, do I want to do thoughts or intentions first? I'll do thoughts, because intentions kind of ties the whole thing together. So I'm going to do thoughts. How many of you have been so in sync with a friend, an acquaintance, whatever you want to call this other person or other people, that to the point where you guys are able to finish each other's thoughts? Now, you could be in two opposite rooms coming together. There's been a time, for example, one of my best friends at the time, we used to go to a lot of festivals all the time, music festivals. We came back, we were preparing to go to this festival. We were bumping all the music of a lot of artists that were there. And we were in two opposite ends of the house, both singing the same part of the song at the same exact time. I can't even count on my hands how many times this happened. But as we were coming back to meet in the same room, we're literally on the same exact part of the song, singing the same exact part verbatim, word for word, rhythm and all. That's what you call operating at the highest frequency. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth, but your brain operates in frequencies, right? That's why when someone says, as a lot of people say in today's world, especially in today's times, on social media or just in person or in general, they always say, I can't stand me no negative people. Why? Because first of all, negativity comes from your thoughts, right? So if you're constantly thinking negative, you're going to say and exude negative behavior, right? Or vice versa. Nobody wants to be around nobody talking negative all day when they're trying to do good things. That just brings down not only the people around you, but it brings down the energy, the mood, everything. Nobody wants a Debbie Downer, as they say, which I never got to the root of. I don't know why they call it that. So please, someone let me know in the comments. But when you're operating and exuding nothing but happiness and energetic and positive thoughts, right? You think positive, you do positive, correct? Like, it's not rocket science. Like, it's just something we should just be aware of. It's a etheric plane, which just means non-physical, that exists. It's definitely there. You just aren't aware, so you're not going to notice it. Get back. If we need to get back to mantras, affirmations, whatever the case may be, to keep don't get me wrong, that's not misconstrued. I know life is about ups and downs. It's about balance, yes, but you want to tip the scales predominantly into the positive. Now, when you're just a positive person and you exuding it, you get in your strut. Because body language and facial expression can also tie into this, but I might save that for a separate video. I don't want this video to be too long. When you know, your body language and your facial expression just exude positivity, not only your thoughts. Everyone wants to be around that kind of high level stuff, right? You ever been at work and it's Monday, the worst day of the week to be at work, and everyone just hates being there, they're dragging their feet, blah 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 blah, and you just the only one there positive with a positive strut, you're positive thinking, like, yeah, it's Monday, but I'm still gonna have a good time, I'm just gonna still jam it out, even though I can't play music, I'm playing music in my head, you just, everything going right. Everyone's like, what's wrong with this person? But like, you just exuding this energy and this positivity, and your thoughts are just on point that, you know, it radiates, and all of a sudden everyone else is following your lead, right? You know what I'm talking about. If you're a person like me, myself, and you just constantly want to be positive and you want to live in that, you know, that state of mind, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Thoughts are powerful, right? So imagine if you tied together your thoughts with your words and your emotions. Sounds like you're trying to be the next leader, but don't be. Or do. We need more. Because celebrities aren't leaders. They're just the only thing we have in the public eye, so you just push them up into the forefront. But before we get off topic, thoughts. I know I kind of want to make, I kind of made my own saying. I don't know if anyone coined this already, but they say you are what you eat. I say you are what you think. If you're constantly thinking negative, you're going to be a negative Debbie Downer. Nobody want to be around you. If you live in a positive light, you attract, like minds attract each other. So just be aware of your thoughts, whether you realize it or not, man. You attract those frequencies with your thoughts. So it's just, you might as well just rather be on the positive end. Intentions. Now, this is where it all ties together, right? You ever been at a party or a club or just out at some kind of function or whatever the case may be, and the vibes are right, everyone around you's having a great time, everything's going great. You're just happy to be there because the vibes are at all-time high. And then all of a sudden, someone new outside comes into this auric field. It just knocks the whole thing for a loop. You like, man, something feels weird. And before you even locate that person, right? It just feels off. It just feels like something good not about to happen, right? You don't even know this person. You just feel it in the air, right? Their intentions may not be pure, and they also radiate. That also radiates as well. And you just like, you feel it in your soul, right? You can feel their soul energy. They ain't up to no good. Because for me, intentions kind of tie it to with intuition, which your intuition is located in your intestines. That's why you get that gut feeling, those butterflies that Michael Jackson talked about. But I don't want to get off topic. If your intentions aren't pure, well, first I'm going to go back to that random person, right? That offsetting person, that person that offsets the energy in the room. You be like, man, this person about to do something that just, I can feel it. He just ain't up to no good, or she ain't up to no good. I can feel it, right? They don't even gotta open their mouth. Maybe the body language and the facial expression might give it off a little bit too. But before you locate it, you just feel, right? You just feel something's off. Those are intentions. You can feel someone's intentions. That's why it gets tricky to a certain point. Like, people can be so good at hiding behind their words, masking their emotions, faking their thoughts. But one thing you can't hide is intentions. That's why I think a lot of people say, if my dog don't like you, I don't like you. Because dogs sniff out intentions. If you just aren't a good person, you that reeks out of you too. You exude that energy too. And again, I don't want this video to go too long, so I'm gonna kind of like stay, cause I can stem into a bunch of different things, but I don't really want to do that. I don't want this to be an hour-long video. You just gotta keep coming back. But yeah, man, if your intentions aren't pure, once you're in tuned and in synced with everything around you, and you're constantly observant, like no one can try to hide their intentions. Like, that's why they say, they do say this, but words are a factor. But they say that's why don't listen to a person's words, watch their actions, which is true to a certain extent. Which is all based off intentions. And I think the more that we are aware of these kind of things, the Akashic Records, the Akashic Chronicle, the etheric plane, just because you can't see it, it still does exist. It's an energy. Energy is everywhere and all around you, Nikola Tesla says. But he didn't go in depth. He led you to it, but he wanted to make you think. And this is the field that he's talking about. Energy is everywhere. And I know we like to tie this all together, I know we like to say that emotions are a female trait. Don't forget you're on a female-driven energy planet. You're on Mother Earth, dealing with Mother Nature. So it's good. I'm sorry, Steve Harvey. You want them to think like a man, but we should be thinking, or rather feeling like a woman, right? To really understand where we at. See, unfortunately, a lot of us men, us people, can't afford the time to think because we're constantly working, constantly got life problems. But when you realize you're not on this earth for a long time, a lot of that stuff doesn't matter as long as you can pay the bills, right? I just want to say, men, because I can only speak for the men, even though men and women both have masculine and feminine energy, I am a man. I'm predominantly a man, so I'm going to speak from a man's point of view. Men, it's 2020. If you're not in tune with your emotions, I don't think you can reach the highest peak of intelligence. That's just that. That's just that. Again, we're on a woman-based energy plane, whichever you want to use. So, it's better to think and feel like a woman. And life will become a lot easier to you. They won't admit this to you, but there's definitely a lot more women on this planet than men. So when a woman says there are not too many good men, she really means it, because there's not a lot of men to start off with. I think it's like 8-1 the last time the statistic said. First of all, this is a little hint. When a record producer tells his artist he needs to make an R&B-ish song for the ladies, he's trying to appeal to the more predominant demographic. That's why when you hear the most gangsterest rapper make a love song, you like, man, I thought this man was a gangster. Why he got emotions? Why he making a song about women? They don't want to still buy records. They don't want to predominantly inhabiting this earth. It's not rocket science, man. Hence rocket science. But hey, yeah, man. It's 2020, so if your vision isn't perfect, you just walking in the blind, my friend. And with that being said, it's your boy DarkIchigo. If you feel the need to donate, I am on Cash App. That is $Brown Ichigo. That's BROWNICHIGO. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. There will be a link to my Twitter where you can hit me up, or you can just inbox me on YouTube. But yeah, also I am having an open casting call because I'm not Harvey Weinstein, but I am having an open casting call for people to come on. I want other opinions, because I like to bounce things off of people to see how they react, and I like to open people's minds up, because I truly think the essence of God is a collective mind. It's everyone's minds being involved. And that's truly living in the God form. All us operating as one. you know, the giant. But yeah, man. With that being said, I'm signing out. Sayo nada, suckers.